Well, hi everybody here. We'll probably do this for a little while again. It's about 9:30 or so here in the evening, and I really wanted to make a video on what I'm doing right now. And you can see around me, it's pretty green. I'm planting into some cereal rye that's about 4 foot tall right now. Planting into some cereal rye here that's 4 foot tall in places, and this is actually where my cows were. As green as your John Deere tractor, Sowers. This is the same field I took the video in when I was the first live stream that I done. So people were commenting on it and telling me that I could have grazed it differently and got more use out of it, but this was actually the intentions of this field. And I thought I would take you guys along. I just started on this field, so as long as everything stays together, hey Muddy Springs, as long as everything stays together, we'll probably go about this for a little bit. And see, I'm going to turn the camera around so I can show you guys how tall this stuff is. Here's a short spot. Now this is the same field that I spread manure on, and every once in a while you'll actually see a manure pile where I had a big chunk of manure. But I got out and checked, and the depth is good. There's good moisture back there. It's gonna make a great mat for my weeds so they don't grow, Sowers. I think this field's about 45 or 50 acres, and I intend to finish this field tonight. So probably another couple hours probably. Well, on the downhill slide, I'm kind of getting tired of planting. Here the last couple days, I kind of felt like, I just lost all excitement for planting, I guess. I was a little more excited when I came out here and started planting into my cereal rye. That was kind of something different, I guess. I'm probably going to spray a little bit tomorrow, and that window is terribly dirty with the sun glaring on it. Went to flip the camera around and about hit finish the video. That would have been awesome. But anybody got any questions on the cereal rye or the seeding rate or anything like that, or anyone want to know why I'm doing what I'm doing? Or I don't know how my connection is, so I don't know if I'm getting the comments or not. But yeah, here's a bare spot. I missed it. I've got about, let me think here. I think I got about 300 acres left. I had a neighbor that wanted some help. Got a neighbor that wanted some help doing some haying, and I wanted to help him out, so he said he'd come over and help me plant. So he's actually going to plant 100 acres for me or so. Yeah, I'm happy with the closing system. I got in heavier soil. I think the spiked wheels, at least change one of the smooth wheels to a spiked wheel, and I think they'll have a lot better luck. I don't know what kind of dirt you have. I didn't spray it off yet. I'm gonna spray my pre-emerge tomorrow probably. Yeah, the rye, I'm considering a cover crop. We did graze it, but we're considering it a cover crop. But, you know, as there's a lot left, And the reason I chose rye is not because of the cost, but I like the fact that it greens up sooner in the spring so we can get our cattle out on it. And then we can graze it down if we want. And the other side of this field is actually down to the ground pretty much, but yeah, I'd like to get a 1250 planter someday, but money's tight, like always on a farm. Gotta watch what you buy. Gotta love my LED lights. I'm a little concerned that all this plant material around me is gonna end up blinding me here later. But that's just something new to me. I've never planted into standing cereal rye before. I have planted into something that's been cut off and baled. About 7,000 hours on this tractor, I think. 7,200. Here's a strip that the cereal rye never got planted on because it was a hunting strip last year. It just had milo, and I didn't want to plant through it and destroy it, so there's no cover here. Seems like it's planting okay. Yeah, I've got, I'm pretty fortunate where I live, Sowers. I got 2 towers fairly close to me. I definitely could not plant or work near the hours without the actual auto steer. I actually spent a lot of time looking at my planter back there, and you catch things that go wrong. I did plant for 1 year with just a screen or a light bar, and it helped. Like on the cereal rye, it helped on places it was weeding. You couldn't see your mark, but it still used to have to drive, so it still took a lot of energy and time to do that. I have about 50 head of cattle. I do farm with my brother and my dad, but I don't feel that it's my place to be putting out their information. Hey, Mr. Nate, how are you? Glad you could stop by. We got enough cattle to keep us awful busy, it seems like. Why are you shitty, Nate? Yeah, so this will probably be the field that I end up getting a deer antler in my tire this year. Haven't had any bad luck with deer antlers yet, but since I can't see the ground, I'm probably going to get a deer antler in my tire, knowing my luck. How's the sound? I've got my Bluetooth on, so I was hoping I didn't pick up so much background noise. I didn't know how I was going to turn out with that. Light's awful bright probably for you guys, but I'm trying to get so you can see how much is over here. Here, I'm gonna, yeah, we're kind of behind too. I need to start cutting hay here shortly, and that's kind of why I agreed to have my neighbor help me out. Works good for both of us that way, and get the work done. I actually just started planting beans yesterday, so I got a few acres covered in the last couple of days. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate the compliment there. I'm gonna jump out and show you guys how tall this rye is. Sorry for covering up the screen. I can plant about 30 acres on a fill. Later hours. And here you can see how tall the rye is. For my burn down, I'm going to use I use Authority MTZ. Let me get back in here. Start it again. For my burn down, I'm using Authority MTZ Roundup, and I'm using these are actually Extend beans, so I'm using the Ingenia product, which I can't remember what it's called. It might even be called Ingenia, and it's gonna cost me a little bit, but I'm hoping it helps our weeds. We got some Roundup resistant kochia around, so that stuff's not good. Yeah, some of the rye that I've got to cut that we haven't grazed is actually as tall as I am. It's probably about 5 foot tall. So that's gonna be fun to try out to cut. See you later, Brandon. It's gonna definitely be fun. I'll test my new mower on that rye. I'll be pretty excited if it don't plug up and we have good luck with it. So we're just out planting. I think I got one more field on my dad's left, and then I've got 3 fields on mine. A little soft right here. Yeah, I'll mow with this tractor. Good morning. Someone said good morning. Isn't it like nighttime? Or where are you from? Yeah, I'm glad I'm done planting corn. I'm sick of sitting in this tractor or this planter. We'll see you, Brad. Thanks for coming by. Looks a lot brighter when I'm looking at the screen than it actually is out. It's actually getting pretty dark out here, looks like. Camera must pick up pretty good in the dark. Between all my custom work, my planting, I'll plant close to 2,500 acres, and I custom combine also in the fall. Mr. Nate, I'm gonna work till I'm done. Got about 50 acres left, couple hours probably. Yeah, you're a long ways away from South Africa. That's pretty cool. I think this tractor's around 200 horse. I'm actually going to go take it down and get it dynoed once I'm done planting and I get caught up and get a rain day, because I'm kind of in the market eventually for another tractor. And yeah, this one's only supposed to be 155 or 160, but if it's actually putting out 200, I'd be awful disappointed if I bought a another 200 horse tractor and thought I was getting a bigger one. You don't have nothing to plant down there, Nate? Thanks on the planter setup. I really like the pull behind tank, and I can't wait to ditch my saddle tank. So it's a 7220 tractor. My dad has a 7150, and it's a pretty good tractor. That thing's a horse. I think that one's been bumped up a little bit more than it probably should be. What are you doing, Matt? What are you doing different in your burn down on your extend bean? Just curious. I'm gonna have to get something to hold in my phone, I think. My fingers are getting tired. There, I'll switch hands. Better plug it back in or it's gonna die. I haven't heard of Maverick, I guess. What type of product is that? Is that a pre-emerge or whatever? I've had pretty good luck with Authority. I used Authority Assist a couple years ago, and I switched to the Authority MTZ last year and had really good luck with that with my Roundup resistant kochia. Yeah, this tractor I know is bumped. The guy I bought it from actually had it bumped. The dealer bumped it for him. So I know it's been bumped some. But they didn't put it on a dyno. They just turned the screw a little bit. But I bought this tractor with 1,000 hours on it, so it's been pretty good. Yeah, I'm glad. You know, I'm glad I'm not a conventional tillage guy or even a strip tillage guy, because I'm pretty much the head farmer here. The head farmer here at our place, and I do most of the farming myself. So I don't think I'd be able to get all my work done if I had to do all that tillage. We do have a couple green things. Well, they're not green; they're orange. We got 2 John Deere payloaders. A 3020 with a farm hand on it, and an old John Deere tractor that don't run. And I have a John Deere no-till drill. Catching up on comments. Yeah, I've actually bumped it some myself too since I've owned this tractor, so that's why we need to get it tested to see what it's at. I would be broke down if my XM radio didn't work, I think, for very long. There's about 3 million stations on there, so I can listen to something different when I get bored. I've got mine's a 1560. South central South Dakota, south of Winter, close to the Nebraska border. I farm a pretty big spread. I'm probably spread out about 30 miles or more each direction. Land's hard to come by, so when I have an opportunity to get more land, I try to take it. And so far this is working pretty good. planting into this rye. I'll definitely keep you guys informed, and I'll probably come out here after it starts dying, you know, the rye starts dying when I spray it, and show you guys what it's looking like. Yeah, I pay for my XM. Right now it's actually free for till midnight tonight, I think, if you want to get in and listen to it, if you got an old radio that's not connected. I think it was free for the last month. Yeah, it seems like a lot of small farms can't make it anymore anywhere because the cost of machinery is so high. You used to sell a truckload of wheat and go to town and bring home a new car with that money, and heck, anymore you take a truckload of wheat to town and you're lucky to pay the fuel to get back, you know, back to the farm with the truck. Last year I didn't have any trouble killing the rye that we sprayed off. I sprayed it with just Roundup and it just killed the crap out of it. This field's kind of short, so there's a lot of turning around going on. There's another food plot right next to me there that didn't get rye planted on it. We leave the food plots for habitat for our pheasants so they got something to eat, and we actually don't even combine the milo that I plant there. We just leave it. We leave it and we let our cows graze it off. I really wish I had row shutoffs, but I don't. This rye is taller. This is as tall as my tractor's tire, my front tire on my tractor. That is some tall stuff. Better sunset without my lights on. Right now on my soybeans I'm only putting 8.5 gallons of fertilizer on. My corn I put about 30. I'm not really sure what the goals are. I guess I'm farming on my own, and I farm all my dad's ground for him. So hopefully someday we can get worked out where us boys can have a little more control of what dad does. You know, you guys talking about you guys are fairly close to each other. It's amazing on how small this world really is. There's people just down the road from me that found my channel here on YouTube and actually called me up and needed help no-tilling some oats. And I went over and helped them no-till some oats and alfalfa in a field, and they wanted to give it a try. And it's just amazing on how small this world really is. The thing about technology anymore, it's nothing to talk to somebody several hours away from you and get lots of knowledge, whether it's on farming, you know, like populations or no-till or strip-till or conventional till or whatever. There's a lot of different places to go for information. I know I spend a lot of time myself researching on the internet and seeing what other people are doing and what's working for them. And people 10 years ago didn't have that luxury like we did. We've been liquid fertilizer for as long as I kind of remember. My dad said he used to have a 4-row planter that had it, but you know, I'm 28, and since I've been 15, I don't remember it. So close to 20 years probably, or something like that. I think liquid's much more effective too, I guess. That's another reason I use it. It's not quite as volatile, and I can put it down as I'm planting and not have to fill up all the time, because as you can see, I pull a tank, and I got saddle tanks too, so that helps. I'm putting down, right now I'm putting down Voss, 1034, and sulfur. And I do use stuff that's not liquid. I use dry fertilizer on my oats as of right now, just because it's a lot more convenient for me. Someone asked, how do I turn my steering on? I'm going to get close to my screen. Just that button right there. And you shut it off. And I hit that button, it turns it back on. So when I turn around, I got to hit that button. Is that what you meant? Probably going to go, I'm probably going to go for another 4 or 5 minutes probably, and then my arm's getting tired. My opinion on cover crop so far, what I've done on cover crops, I've been really happy with. I just planted a field, and I was going to make a video on it, but we got a lot of rain this spring, so it got rid of what I was going to show everybody. But it was radishes and turnips, and we grazed cattle on it this winter, and I got videos of cattle being out there, and it just planted like a dream. There's a different diversity. There's not many dairies. Most of the dairies were small mom and pop shops, and they're all gone. We've got lots of feed yards, so around me there's probably, within 10 miles, there's probably 15 different feed yards that have over 1,000 head of cattle. So it's mainly farming and cattle. I don't use identical curve on the Tremble. I've tried it out just randomly before, and it seems to work all right, but I just make all my fields straight. We don't have any contours in our field, so I always just go straight. Yeah, the 7220 is the main farming tractor, because I do all the farming and it's mine. My dad has a couple other tractors that are more of the feeding tractors. I try to keep this one out of the feed lot if I can. I've got a phone thing, but I took the sticky pad off because it wouldn't stick to my window. I kept dropping my phone, and the last one I cracked my screen with, so I got it actually screwed down to my console. None of the Case IH dealers closed down in my area. That was quite a ways north of me, several hours away from me. There were some dealers that got shut down, but I don't think they really got shut down. They did, but I think they tried to combine manpower and make like one central location instead of having other, 4 different locations. They went to one, and I think they might end up having better service that way. How many years have I been no-till? We started, I can't know exactly, I don't remember, but it was roughly when I graduated in 2007. We started doing a lot more no-till. And there's a few fields that may have been worked after that, but once we got some of the fields into no-till longer, Dad said no more tillage here, so. Around 2000, give or take, depending on what it is. Hey, old farmer, or old farm show. not sure. I know when I was a beginning farmer when I started out in 2007, I bought the 7220 Magnum, and I've been real happy with it. It's been a good tractor. It's been reliable. I know some people laugh at these old Cyclo planters, but you know, they're reliable. They're simple to work on. They're just a good planter. They're no-till, I mean conventional till, whatever you want to do, they work good. Kind of depends on what your goals are. I don't know anything about the older cases like the 29 or 2594. I've never been around one, so I can't tell you that. But I know these older boxcar Magnums are good tractors. They're very comparable, I think, in reliability to a John Deere 50 or 55 series, which I think everyone can agree that those are pretty good tractors if they've been taken care of. This tractor's got 7,000 some hours on it, doesn't use any oil, so that's pretty good. Later. I am having fun, Scotty. I'm like I said, I've been really getting bored planting, and yeah, these are good planters. I know some people disagree, but I think they're great. I know a guy on Twitter was making fun of them the other day, but I don't care. I don't have the money to go buy a brand new one, and I probably never will. Especially when this, I paid $12,000 for this planter, and it does about as good a job as a $100,000 one. So why would I want to spend the extra $80,000 or $90,000 or whatever it would be? But I think I've talked plenty long. I've had a good time, everybody. I enjoy the comments and the questions. I just sold an 8-row, a planter identical to this one, but it's an 8-row. I sold it for $1,500 a week ago. I've actually got a 16-row Tyson if you want it. Another one. It's around $6,000. You could probably own it. Hey, I am planting green. Thanks for stopping by, Brad. I'm about ready to quit. The rye's pretty tall. I'm going to turn it around so Brad can see how tall it is out there. Tyson, one thing I want to say, I seen your comment on my video on the strip till. I kind of wonder if strip till would help a guy convert into no-till. I know up in your area the ground's a lot heavier and you get a lot more rain. I wonder if that would help get you converted over if it's something you wanted to try. But you can't try no-till just for a year or two and say you tried it. You need to go, you know, if you really want to try it, you need to, it's a long-term deal. It's not an overnight deal. It might take 5 years before you see much return on it. But all right, everybody, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Holy buckets, this is rough right here. And we'll do these again sometime. Don't work too hard. Stay out of trouble.